Hello and welcome to this episode of Esports Connected. I am your host, Megan Van Petten, and I'm here today with Joanne Loton. Welcome to the show, Joanne.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Oh, it is such a pleasure, and it was just so nice to be with you last week at
Yeah,
Esports
same.
Next and meet you in real life. So,
In IRL. Yep.
oh my gosh, yes, thank you so much. So, you're brought to so Kingston. So
Yes.
you're hailing here from Kingston,
Mhm.
Canada, and we have a lot to learn today about Kingston.
Yeah, I appreciate that for sure. I'm seeing it through fresh eyes, with beginner mind because I'm new here. I moved from Toronto, and I've been in Toronto for like 25 years. But I moved, my family and I moved about 5 months ago. So I'm still able to see it with love and,
Yes.
yeah, like there's townies here that grew up here, hardcore Kingstonians, and maybe they have different opinions, or we've got a huge student population here, so lots of turnover, lots of tourists. So everybody sees it in their own way. But I'm quite charmed by the city, and I'm really happy that we made the decision to move here.
Oh, wow. Congratulations. So
Yeah, thanks.
tell us a little bit about Kingston. I mean, I get it that you're there with fresh eyes,
Mhm.
and I know Toronto as a sister city of Chicago.
Yeah.
I've been there, love it. I love Canada. But tell us what's to love about Kingston?
Oh, wow. Thanks for the question.
Sure.
So it used to be Canada's capital city of Canada, and a lot of people don't know that. They think of Ottawa, that's our current capital. And so because it was briefly our capital city, of the country, it's got incredible architecture. So City Hall, it's got these gorgeous limestone buildings from the 1800s, all of the churches. We still have this incredible location, the Kingston Penitentiary, that was a maximum security prison, that was built, overseen by our first prime minister. And some people might say, "Oh, well, penitentiary in town," but it's just it has so much history. It's decommissioned. It was decommissioned in 2013, and we now use it as a filming location for incredible, Netflix, Amazon productions, that kind of thing. But it's right on the lake, and it acts as the sort of beacon to the city. And it really, it's in this historic part of town called Portsmouth Village, and it just has a certain charm. And Portsmouth in general, it used to be the site of our sailing Olympics. And all of this to say is, like, we just have so many incredible locations that have a real vibe, um, and that speaks to our history. And I think, amongst Indigenous communities here in southeastern Ontario, Kingston was known as the meeting place because we are in between Toronto and Ottawa and Montreal and upstate New York. And it still is that. So many friends, bachelorette parties, sports teams, like everybody tends to meet in Kingston. So it has this really interesting energy. Um, it's also a really cool music town and film town. Like, we've got an awesome film festival. So I work at the Film and Media Commission here, and yeah, it just, like, the town comes alive in winter, and so it's like this beautiful little hallmark town where all of these filmmakers from the country and beyond come and just revel in cinema. And so it's those kinds of moments, like, lots of festivals, lots of hiking. Like, I don't know. It's really, really charming.
Well, they really knew what they were doing when they hired you. I see a lot of the cities that understand the film, media,
Yeah.
theater, um, the reusing of existing spaces,
Yes.
strategy in bringing the community of esports that already exists
Yes.
together. Um, I am so interested in how the evolution of getting, a tournament and a chapter set up and everything that you're doing. You must have really enjoyed the conference. What were some of the sessions that you attended that you found the most helpful?
Oh yeah, I loved the one about the Tourism and Sport Commission. Yeah, that was next level. Really great insights. Those panelists and the moderator were phenomenal. And I actually have a follow-up conversation with Igor this Friday. Yeah, so we can take because we couldn't stop talking and we're like, we need to talk more. So I think the biggest takeaway was just really understand what your community needs and wants as it relates to your tourism portfolio, but more so what are people already doing here? And it seems so important. And I get it because I come from like punk and metal and film background. So it's like indie subcultures. It's like if people think that you're trying too hard to glob onto what they're already doing, it's like repellent. And so it's like you got to earn a little bit of street cred in a way, right? And I
True.
think
Yes.
to right. And so I feel
Just
like,
ask NASCAR.
yeah,
I
that's
joke. I thank
it.
goodness, we were a collaboration with Coca-Cola, because at first NASCAR is like, you're gonna do what? And we're like, the esports activation
Yeah,
alongside, like we did for the Super Bowl. But
amazing.
it does work out. It does work out
That's it. Yeah.
when you can get through the cred and
Yes,
collaborate in community. It's like the C's. It just makes for such a better experience.
I think so. Yeah. And that's it. Like there's already people in Kingston doing really cool things. So as the film and media office, I don't want to come in and say, oh, we're going to
Yeah,
do this. It's like, what are you already doing? We some of our secondary, our elementary and secondary schools, we already compete at a competitive level provincially. That's amazing. I didn't know that before we
yeah,
started doing
cool.
this community survey. So
Yeah.
it's like, who are the coaches? Who's the talent? I think Scarlett, one of the leading female esport competitors, she comes from Kingston. So it's just, and I didn't know that until I started asking around. So it's like there's a lot here because like we do all of these amazing cruises. So like we're part of the Thousand Islands. So we attract boaters from all over the world. It's one of the
Oh,
premier
nice.
destinations. Same thing with scuba diving. We have some of the best Great Lakes scuba diving here. So all of this to say, and we do tours at Kingston Pen. We do amazing festivals and arts festivals and music festivals. So when people come here for conferences or events, there's so many different things that we can package for them here. Same thing with our restaurant partners. We've got incredible restaurant scene here. So I think we're already all the pieces are here in Kingston. Our office just needs to connect the dots to like bring people here for these watch parties or tournaments or music activations, like all the other things around esports,
It takes a certain person to do that.
right?
And I'll just say our Rachel, our event chair, really made it easy for us to collaborate with NASCAR and Coke, and then the Chicago Street Race. And then we had
Yes.
the mayor, give us the proclamation for Esports Day, and it's
So
such a
cool.
win when you're bringing the brand and the tournament and the activity and the city and the colleges. And, it is the perfecta. You just can't ask for more. And, but I don't think there's necessarily a playbook. It's really just like
Mm,
being cool and,
yeah.
being, others first and
True.
really living community, community, community.
Oh, yeah, that's a really good point. And that's the takeaway I got from so many different people, community,
Yes.
community, community. And I'm like, okay, and that's great because that's how Kingston's built already. So I think we have the opportunity to reach that trifecta, like you say,
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We were really fortunate. And there was even a question when we got Esports Day proclaimed by the mayor. There was, wait, should it be NASCAR Day? And I said, hey, we'll take the next day. Like,
No.
no problem. Like I would have, I had no problem with it because I want everyone to win.
Right.
I don't win if someone loses
Ah,
because we're a city, working on the
yes.
economic development, and through fun, and Chicago NASCAR race was just such an amazing experience.
That was cool. That was my first
Was
time.
it?
It was my first time in Chicago too.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I am in love with Chicago.
Well, if you
Oh,
love Toronto, you'll love Chicago.
for sure. But, and Toronto people don't hate me for this, but I feel like Chicago is what Toronto wants to be. Like
Well,
Toronto's great, but I'm Toronto, old school Toronto, like from the 80s, 90s.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And so it's a wicked city and it's evolving to be a still great city.
yeah,
But in Chicago, like, come on, you've got the sports teams, the Art Institute of Chicago, like the art, the music, the comedy. I went up to the Laugh Factory. I'm a huge fan
truly.
of like
That's so
underground
cool.
comedy and
Oh my
got some
God.
amazing dumplings from across the street and saw some of the best comedy. And it's just, and again, Toronto has that too. There's an amazing comedy scene in Toronto, but all this, like, but then the architecture and the history and how it's
Yeah,
evolved. And it's like,
yeah.
I've been going to New York all these years. I can't believe that I haven't been going to Chicago. Like, I'm only going to Chicago from now on.
Sh- I, I mean, it runs through my veins. I
Yeah.
love Chicago. It's a good thing that I have all brothers because it feels like
uh,
Chicago's the prettier sister.
there you go. Yeah, yeah, totally.
But I'm a fan of Toronto. I
Yeah,
could live there. I've never seen a city like I love Chicago. I mean, I just,
me too. That it just, I've never seen a city like it. And I've traveled to like 30 different countries, multiple cities, all the like, it's just, it's pretty unique. I was really blown away, actually.
it is, and I agree with you. I couldn't agree more. I call it in the most coastal neighborhood of Chicago, where I'm on
Mm,
the river and the lake in the corner. And you were
amazing.
just a few blocks from that at the Hotel
Yeah.
Intercontinental. I'm a little closer to the lake. And
Wonderful.
I just wake up every morning and I just can't even believe it. Me and Joe met halfway this morning at the Wrigley building.
Right
Like
on. Come
it's
on.
yes. Well, and I told you before our call in the green room that when I was going to grow up, I wanted to be representing a city or a location
Yeah.
in some area. So what's it like going from Toronto to Kingston?
Mm. Yeah, I know. I feel like I'm cheating on my home city a little bit because Toronto is OG for me, right?
Yeah.
I think, yeah, because I see it with those fresh eyes, because I'm coming from a really big city to a smaller city, like the population of Kingston is 166,000. And so plus three, me and my family. But I'm appreciating how Toronto started to feel a little bit crushing just with the
Yeah.
traffic and the construction. And everybody will say this, like, this is like over the last couple of years, it's gotten really, really bad. You can sit in traffic now for 2, 3 hours, not even a joke. Whereas like and I sound like an old fart when I say, well, back in my day, but you literally could go from like the northeast region of Toronto to the southwest in like 15, 20 minutes. Now you need to bring a passport because it's going to take you hours to cross the Don. And
Wow.
anyway, all of this to say, it just made it really hard to get my kid to school. And, you live in a city, in a major city for a reason, so that you can be close to your little communities and commute, bomb around and get places where you need to go. It's just not like that right now. It's pretty, there was a huge storm that flooded everywhere, like the subways, everything, just because there's so much condo development going up. And it's just, Toronto's really got to figure out what they want to be an international city for the next 20, 30, 40 years. How's it going to grow? How are they going to accommodate everybody? That kind of thing. And I still love going there. I have tons of friends and family there. But making the choice, like a lot of people from big cities, to go to a smaller community for me and my family right now has been a really good choice because the traffic, the congestion, the crushing nature, I don't have to deal with that. In Kingston, I get to focus on my work. I get to focus on my passions. I get to focus on my writing. I get to focus on art making. I get to go 20 minutes away and go canoeing and see beavers in the wild. Like,
Yeah.
you can do that there, but it takes you so much longer to do that. And it's quality of life. Like I have a backyard for my kid, and never thought that that would be like important or cool or whatever. And it actually is.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah. So it's just, and there's just like a chill, it's a chill vibe here, you know? And it's funny. It's like, again, commuting traffic either in a bike or in a car, but like when I first moved here, I caught myself getting angry at the garbage truck in front of me and being like, come on. And I was like, chill out. This is
Lady from the
Kingston.
city.
Yeah, that's it. Because they call us idiots, right?
Yeah.
And just
Yeah.
like calm down, city person.
Yeah.
Like you'll get there.
Yeah.
And so it's nice to, yeah, to chill. It's nice to chill.
Well, I'm going to have to definitely make the trip. I know that
Yes.
you have big plans for esports. And what really interested me in starting with the Esports Connected show is tell me how you're interweaving the film and the media with esports and community.
Yeah, definitely. So I do know that it seems like typically a lot of esports comes out of like the sports portfolios or sports commission. I think what we're doing with film and media, interactive digital media, and that kind of thing, taking that holistic 360 approach to events that involve digital gaming and media is it allows, I think, us the opportunity to do a lot more around tournaments. So, you know, it'll be easy for me to partner with our music commissioner. We have a music commissioner on so many amazing events where we can add on, or not add, but design events with esports and music. And maybe there's, you know, musicians that have done music composing for gaming. Same thing, there's so much IP these days coming from film and television that translates into video game and VR and XR. So thinking of it holistically in that approach, I think is a really cool opportunity.
It really is. And that panel that you were talking about, Asante Bradford was one of the first.
Oh, yes. Yes,
He
that's right.
paved the
In
way.
Georgia.
Yeah.
Oh, very
I was
cool.
really excited to see you in that track room.
Oh, yeah, I had to be. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, I think I was like, oh, watch out. I gotta
I
get
was
in.
going back and forth. It was, oh my gosh. It was, I have to say we've done this for a long time. And I think our sessions were, I was so proud of those sessions. And
Absolutely.
literally, I was wanting to be at both every single time, and I did, and I did. I would go back and forth, but yeah, he really paved the way in the credibility of film and media and multimedia and esports and gaming and bringing it all together and getting those tax dollars and those credits.
Yes.
And yeah,
Yes.
so let's talk about what you're gonna do to bring all these events to your city.
Okay, yes. Well, we do have a high level strategy. I think what we need to focus on short term is working with the folks here that are already doing tournaments, who are all already
Okay.
doing skills development. Like a big part of being in Kingston, especially in the film and media portfolio, is skills development and training. So when we bring films to town, we always make sure if we're incentivizing films to come to town by, you know, taking out their hotel line through our incentivization dollars, which we could also do for esports producers and conferences, is, you know, there's got to be a little bit of that quid pro quo as well. So can you hire and or train and or mentor our locals here? Because we've got a really incredible event management stream through our college. We've got media and gaming production through our college and university. There are people, graduates here that want to stay here. They don't want to go to the States or to Toronto. They will if they have to, but we want to keep our talent and our local labor here. And so, you know, we would offer those kinds of reciprocal agreements in exchange for training, that kind of thing. But I guess short story short is focus on community events with our elementary and secondary schools. Our Queens, one of our universities here, has a intramural team already. We want to partner with them on different activations. Our sports teams do student-led tournaments as well. That was another session that I sat in at Esports Next, was how to engage your student population and how to run an esports tournament that's student-led, that lets people have ownership over I loved that session and that seminar.
Oh,
So I think, yeah, so there's a lot of fertile ground here. I think we need
yes.
to start small and then grow.
I'll just say it again. Kingston is lucky to have you. That is for
Oh,
sure. Oh my goodness. So, wow.
yeah, there's a lot. We got to get you up here. Or
You've got
down
it.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when
no,
is
up here.
yeah, you're right. I was looking on the map before the call.
Right? It's like
So
there.
yeah, so what's the season for Kingston?
Good questione. I mean, okay, the summer, like spring, summer, of course, because the sailing community here is amazing. So it's like we could bomb around the Thousand Islands, we could go to Wolf Island. There's an incredible, like, there's incredible beaches, like, so, but that's always going to be great. I mean, I think fall and winter is for sure our shoulder season. We want to get more people here in the winter. I have to say, it is quite charming in the winter. And it is like that Hallmark film with the snow on the ground and the little
Yeah.
cobblestone streets with the heritage buildings and the twinkle lights. Like, get out of here. It's gorgeous. And that's when we have our film festival. So, I guess I'm just giving you the best tourism answer. It's like any 4 seasons you want to come, we're here and can do something amazing.
People ask me too, what's the season of Chicago? And we have the reputation to come in the summer.
Yeah.
Winter is the best. For
Yeah.
sure, I don't drive. So
There
it's
you
like,
go.
and guess what? There's no snow on the roads because there's
Right?
traffic.
Yeah,
Downtown
it gets
Chicago, it's
cleared.
like, yeah, it's clear. It's so
Mm.
easy. Now, the season of summer for the suburbs, it's highly
Yes,
recommended. But
for
in the city,
sure.
it's like so easy. Yeah, I would imagine that it's just absolutely beautiful for Christmas.
Oh, it is. It's ridiculous. Like, we have all the Christmas markets. There's skating rinks right in the middle of the city, down by the lake, at our
Yeah.
city hall. Like, it's just, yeah, you couldn't, like, just picture a snow globe with that idyllic downtown historical thing with people like Coco and the ice skates. Like, that's us.
And you're a destination OG. You've been to like over 50 countries, did I read?
Yeah, I think I've definitely over 30
Maybe
countries.
30. Okay.
Yeah, many cities, many times. So yeah, I've traveled quite a bit. Yeah.
So you know your stuff.
I think so. Yeah, there's a lot of, obviously, more that I have to do. Like, geez, I've got some friends that have traveled to hundreds of different cities and countries. But yeah, I make it my mission to try to put myself into interesting circumstances.
Well,
My, yeah.
yeah, we really appreciate the support of Kingston
Oh, yeah.
and that you are a member and
Yes.
listed in our membership directory
Oh,
of our
fantastic.
Esports Next magazine. I had to plug it. So what was the best takeaway for you for Esports Next? We'll have you on that show as well.
I think I mean, general observation overall, I find people in the esports community so welcoming,
Oh,
so open to collaborating and sharing. And it's not always like that in media tech industries. I found, like, after the panels, you could go up and speak to anybody, no matter their sort of reputation or stature. Like, everybody
yes.
was interested in talking or saying, yeah, follow up with me. Let's have a follow up conversation, and really meaning it and taking the time to do it. Um, I think the biggest takeaway, though, or the learning is that when you're aligning the like when the reason for what you're doing is aligned properly with that community focus, it's easier to get those sponsors, those partners, those big hitting companies like the NASCAR, like the Coca-Cola, like this, like everything you mentioned. It's like everybody can see the reason why we're doing it, and it benefits everybody. And when a partnership is genuine, people just genuinely want to come to the table and collaborate. And yeah, again, it's just like it's connecting those dots, I think.
Yeah. And that's what I'll say, folks. Watch Kingston, Canada, creating the playbook. And that's what's cool. If somebody were to say to me, so Meg, what's the secret?
Right.
It takes looking at what you currently have.
Mm.
I've heard cities say, well, we can't do esports. I swear, we don't have an arena. And I'm
Oh,
like, no, you know what? You have the wrong person, which is you. And I'll never forget this one guy. He looked at me like, what do you mean? I'm like, you have partners waiting to collaborate with you to get a tournament here. You
yes.
got to think out of the box, look at what you have. So many people have been stopped. And I
Mm.
joke, but yeah, you're going about it right. Like, look at
Oh,
what's there. You use what you learned from Toronto, right?
yes.
Bring it to Kingston, your OG-ness that tried and true. Bring
Yeah.
it there, see who's there, partner with the college, let the government know you're here, right? Partner
Yeah.
with everyone, and then create something amazing. Be part of the association. It's a no-brainer.
Yes, exactly. I knew that we had to be a part of ESTA. Like just the fact that there's a Canadian chapter, we want to grow an Ontario chapter, just yeah, it makes so much sense.
It
Yeah.
does. Ontario, you've got it. So
Yeah.
last question, how do people get a hold of you to join the chapter and start building what you're creating there?
Okay. I am at, well, I guess, should I do my email? Okay,
Sure.
sure. Yeah. Well, so if you internet search Kingston Film and Media, Kingston, Ontario, not Kingston, Jamaica. Shout out to Kingston, Jamaica, but that's a long way in the different direction. So, Film and Media, Kingston, Ontario. You'll see our Film and Media Commission, our website, as well as our Tourism Kingston website. But I'm personally at Joanne, JOANNE, at tourismkingston.com.
There you have it. Big things happening. I think we're going to have to talk esports and cruises on the next show.
Ooh, yes, we can. Yes, we can.
And that's a wrap. I am your host of Esports Connected. Thank you for listening. And thank you so much for being such a great guest and making it out to Chicago.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Right on.